Here's how to treat it with more than just painkillers. Now, as a busy, high achieving mom, you don't have time for that pain to slow you down, especially when it shows up in the form of a nagging elbow pain every time you type or lift your groceries or you reach forward to pick up your children. Um, any activity that involves your arm, forearm, or your elbow area. Now, whether it's tennis elbow, also known as lateral epicondylitis, or golfer's elbow, which is known as medial epicondylitis, I will explain these in a bit. That sharp or burning pain can sneak into your daily life and it can make even the simplest of tasks seem quite frustrating, really. Now, you may have tried those over-the-counter painkillers or gels or creams only to find that they will numb your pain for a bit and they do offer short-term relief, which is much required at times. However, they do not go away with just medications or gels or creams. Now, if you are stuck in that cycle of doing a temporary fix, like say I put some gel on my elbow, the pain goes away, it comes back again. So if you're stuck in that loop of temporary fixes, it's time to look at what's actually causing the real problem and what can you really do to support your long-term recovery or from elbow pain, which is either tennis elbow or golfer's elbow pain. Now, we are going to address these in today's video. But before we get into the video for today, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage their spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain despite low energy levels and brain fog. Now, I do this by giving you simple exercises, some easy lifestyle modification, some tips and tricks that have helped me in my own pain and adrenal fatigue journey. Now, in adrenal fatigue, you would know that it has a lot of symptoms. However, the two main ones that I had were low energy levels and um, basically lack of focus or mommy brain, as it sometimes is called. And it is pushed aside and it is not looked at. But when you have these two problems of low energy levels and lack of focus, it is very, very difficult to concentrate on your everyday tasks, leave alone managing your aches and pains. But anyway, here I am with my professional expertise and my personal experience with the hope that your pain journey is not as long as mine was. But anyhow, let's not take up more of your time because, hey, we're mums, we're busy people, right? So let's get into the topic for today, which is tennis or golfer's elbow. And here's how to treat it with more than just painkillers. So basically, how do you treat your golfer's or tennis elbow without relying only on painkillers? Now, just to let you know, painkillers, pain gels, pain creams, I do recommend these. There is a time and place for these, but these will not help you recover in the long run from golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. So before we start, what exactly is are these terms? Um, Firstly, you don't have to be a golf player or a tennis player to get these golfer's elbow and tennis elbow. They are basically more commonly found in golf and tennis players. So that's why the name. But if you look at the point of your elbow here, and excuse me, if you were to put your finger here on the point of the elbow and your thumb and your finger fall on the other side, this bony part here, the outer part, when you have pain originating here, that goes down into the extensor, that is this part of the forearm, into your fingers here, this is known as a tennis elbow. Now, if you look at where my thumb is sitting, so if you press in, you will realize there's a bony part here. So when you have pain originating in the elbow here, but the pain goes down into the forearm on this side, so not here, on this side, and into the fingers, this is known as a golfer's elbow. So they're basically on two opposite sides here. Now, these are mostly repetitive strain injuries. What that means is it is caused by overuse. So, repetitively doing some action over and over again, whether it is typing, whether it is writing, it could be anything that you do repetitively, which involves your wrist, forearm, and fingers. Now, it can also be caused by poor posture. Cervical spine, that is your neck, can also mimic tennis elbow or golfer's elbows pain. So even though the pain shows up in the elbow, in this case, it is not an elbow problem. It is basically a problem with your neck. Now, what can you do in addition to the painkillers and gel or cream? So basically, the pain relief cream or gels. Um, Firstly, you can start with some gentle guided movements. Now, one of the worst things you can do is to stop movement altogether. I understand if it's painful, of course, you're not going to do the whole range of movement that or whole lot of activities that you've been doing before. However, you need to not stop your activity altogether. If you have a lot of pain and even little bit of activity, say you're moving your wrist a little bit and you flinch with pain, of course it's very acute. You need to put a cold pack on it and give it some rest. However, in the long run, if you're going to stop activity altogether in the elbow, it's going to do more damage than benefit, right? So what your body needs is movement, but when done correctly. So what you can do is to reduce that tightness from setting in your elbow, that is your forearm and shoulder muscles. You need to do some movements, gentle movements at your wrist and your elbow area. Okay. And as you tend to get better, you need to start with some very gentle strengthening exercises, which also, apart from the wrist and elbow, they also include your shoulder and your upper back muscles, right? So you can also do some posture resets when you are sitting for those long hours at your desk. Whether long hours or not, posture resets is a good idea. Okay, so if you are looking for more details on these exercises or the posture reset, you can have a look at the blog that I have written on this topic. The blog is called How to Treat Golfers and Tennis Elbow Without Relying Only on Painkillers. Have a look at that blog. I will leave a link in the description of this video. If you're watching me on Instagram, link is in my bio. If you're a busy mom like me and you can't be bothered to look for it because I'm the same, leave me a comment below, send me a message, I'll send the link to you. In that blog, there is a lot of information on both these conditions about posture, how your cervical spine can mimic tennis or golfer's elbow, even on those pain relief gels. And there is also a video that talks about how to treat your tennis elbow pain effectively. All right, so going back, you want to avoid some common mistakes that slow down your recovery. Too much rest, as we said, can lead to muscle weakening, right? Or it can also lead to tightnesses in the area. Too much activity can irritate the area, can aggravate your pain. Now, the key is to find your movement sweet spot. Excuse me. So you don't want to push through those sharp pains during the task. You don't want to skip those posture resets. Again, refer to the blog for the details of that. When you're working at a desk or when you're holding your kids, you don't want to rely on elbow braces 24/7. Now, hear me out on this one because elbow braces, you might have heard me talk about these and recommend them, and I still do. However, they are more like a scaffolding around your elbow and forearm area to help you with the pain relief so your body can work on the healing. But directly, just wearing a brace is not going to help you cure the problem. In fact, if you wear a brace for forever and forever, it is a situation that can make your pain worse because it can lead to a bit of muscle weakening in the area. So wear the brace as long as you are also working on strengthening the area, sorting out the muscular imbalances in there, you would be fine. But don't think that wearing a brace is going to cure your pain without doing anything else. All right, so that's all I have to say. If you need more details, of course, the blog is longer. You can have a look at that. If you want step-by-step guidance on how to treat your elbow pain effectively, you can try out the course that I have, which is called Simple Solutions to Manage Your Tennis Elbow. Again, the details are in the blog for that course. If you want to get on the wait list for the course, which is called Simple Solutions to Manage Your Golfer's Elbow, basically the pain on the inside of the elbow, you can reply to this blog in the comments or just drop a message below or drop me a message or reply in the below this video in the comments. So that is a course that's not ready to be released yet, but there's something, it's in the pipeline. It will be released soon. So you can get on the waitlist for the course. If you buy both the courses, of course, we can discuss that. Remember, these courses are not very high priced because I want them to be accessible, not because they're low value. They're high value, but a lower price. All right. So if you have any questions, any comments for me on today's video, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And I'll see you guys next time.